packaging is just constant consumption nowadays. And I'm not even kidding.
I love you, but what is this? Dove made their own blind box. Okay, which one do we want? I grew up using the original one. I'm really curious what the secret one is. Back for good luck. Oopsie. Another bag, of course, the original. I knew it by the smell. Yep, very nostalgic smell. What else? Ooh.
Huh?
Soap? What is this? It's a case. Open. Oh, it's a soap dish. Oh, there's more. A mini Dove keychain. Another Dove for your boo-boo? Dove boo-boo is for you. Smack for good luck. Is it just empty? It's a miniature bar of soap. So now me and my Labubu have a bar of soap. Labubu said, remember to wash your butt.
There was 7 lots of packaging, all just for one bar of soap. There was the box holding everything itself, then plastic packaging for everything inside, then more box for the soap itself, then a soap dish that comes with a lid that holds a mini keychain of Dove soap that no one has ever asked for. And then irritatingly enough, a goddamn mini Dove soap box, quote, for your boo-boo, and then an even smaller Dove soap for your Labubu made from silicone. I am so sick to death of this blind box trend. Not only is it incredibly childish for no reason, but it's a complete waste. Because why on earth do you need soap to be presented to you like it's a toy? We use bars of Dove to wash ourselves. It doesn't need to be anything more than that, especially when it's being specifically made for your Labubu so that you can match with your Labubu, which is another blind box for an inanimate object that produces even more waste. If you want a specific bar of Dove soap, then just go buy that specific bar. What is the point in buying a Dove blind box if you know you're not going to get the scent of soap that you want? Oh, but Hayley, it's for the fun of it. It's not a toy. It's soap. We use it to clean ourselves and make ourselves smell good to other people, not play with like a doll. This is ridiculous.
Blind bags are taking over the world because what do you mean Vaseline just sent me a box full of a bunch of mini blind bags? These are so freaking cute. Obviously, I need to open them with you guys. Let's see what we get. What is this? Oh my god! Are you freaking kidding me? It's a little purse for a Vaseline. I feel like now I have to open another one to see if I get a Vaseline. Okay, these are addicting. Vaseline, you got me there. Let's open another one. Ooh. Ow. This is a pomegranate spritz. Does she fit in the bag? You're lying. How freaking cutie! This was the serotonin I needed today. Vaseline, you've outdone yourself. Let me know if you guys want to see me open the rest.
Again, this blind box trend is getting on my literal nerves because putting a bunch of little plastic bags inside of a huge box that only carries miniature purses for your miniature surprise containers of Vaseline. That is the biggest waste of money and produce and time imaginable for something so goddamn simple. And it makes me cringe because these companies are just treating us like we're all little kids now. For hundreds of years, people have simply bought soap or Vaseline from the grocery store or from pharmacies and taken it home to use straight out of its original packaging. Nowadays, it's like we're all little children who constantly need stimulation because the simple act of buying a bar of soap just simply isn't good enough anymore. It's just not interesting enough. Oh, guys, look, we're Vaseline. We want you to buy our products. So we're going to create a little purse so that you guys will use our Vaseline. Huh? How cool is that? Like, it genuinely infuriates me how something so unimpressive and wasteful has become the norm because of how boring modern life has become. That being completely avoidable waste is the only excitement that some people get now. creator likes to say that she only uses clean water to wash her hair. Right, okay. So I'm guessing you just never use the tap water from your shower or from your bath to wash and clean your body, right? I'm guessing you don't use the tap water in your kitchen to do your dishes, right? I'm guessing you don't use the water from your bathroom tap to brush your teeth, right? If all of that water is clean enough for you to use in your everyday life, like in literally every single other aspect of your everyday life, then how come that same water is too dirty for your hair? Oh, that's right, because you're doing it just for the content. My counting was way off, by the way. 12. What? 1 liter bottles of water were used to wash your hair? Nope. Whoever wants to count the exact amount of plastic water bottles used to wash her hair for one single hair wash wins $10,000 immediately. This is gross because you're not even going to be getting a body wash out of this. Later on at night, after you film this dumb video, you're gonna get in the shower before bed and waste even more water when you could have just washed your hair in that nightly shower as well. Those two things did not need to be separated. Then it's also the amount of food waste that's promoted on social media that genuinely disgusts me. Because this lady isn't just scraping a mouthful of two into the bin after dinner. She's straight up shoving platefuls of food down her drain because it makes her happy. Those are perfectly good fries. What looks like an entire slice of pie and almost an entire serving of rice and sauce down the drain for no good reason. This is just horrific content. I'm sorry, but it is. With how expensive food actually is right now, it's just nasty to see this person be so genuinely giddy to use their garbage disposal. That isn't just freaking leftovers. That is a full plate of food that could have been covered with cling wrap and put in the fridge to eat for lunch the next day. Because that's how big the portion of food was that she washed down her sink. At this point, it's like she's making these meals just to dump them down the garbage disposal. Roast asparagus, cooked meat and potatoes. An exquisite meal. Gone, just like that. Either be an adult and give yourself a smaller portion of food if you yourself know that you can't finish a bigger portion, or save that food for another day or another person to eat, because the amount of financial waste and food is just sickening.
Okay, I got some new DIYs, so let's refill them with me. Okay, so when you're filling your refills, there's going to be like a wider circle and a smaller circle. So you're going to want to put the smaller circle into the wider circle if you have two colors that are going in the case. And then you kind of just slide them in and try and make sure that the ends of it are towards the top so you can pull them out. Okay, actually you're going to put it into the side with the white, and then these little notches right here is where you stick it out, so when you close it, you can just pull it out.
All of that for a hair tie. Nope, I'm not even kidding. 5 huge plastic packets of string and what appears to be a tape dispenser, just so that she can put her hair in a basic ponytail.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Holy shit. What really gets me pissed off is how that video is a restock, which means she is repeatedly buying several packets of plastic filled with this string to keep making hair ties she clearly doesn't care enough about to keep losing. Like, she doesn't care enough about them to not lose them by putting them on her wrist. Like, you could just keep putting these on your wrist, or do what I do and place them on your nightstand before you go to sleep. Like, I understand. As a woman, we lose a lot of hair ties. But at least when you buy a pack of them from the supermarket, you can get a pack of like 45 of them for under $10 that only come in one small packet instead of multiple. Because 4 packs of these strings are damn near $100 when you mix the price of the products, that being $87, with the price of shipping. You're paying 13 hours of work if you work on minimum wage in the US to wear these hair ties. And that is just bizarre when you put it in that perspective. But I think the funniest thing about this is that they have a 10-question quiz on their website for their hair ties. Hair ties! In what world is any of that necessary? If you have thinner hair, then you don't need thick hair ties. But if you have thicker hair, you need thicker hair ties. Oh my god, wow, really? How hard was that to figure out? It's not rocket science. And don't even get me started on how genuinely ridiculous this video is. The fact that this lady buys a brand new giant plastic, quote, bathtub, despite the fact that she'd already have one installed in her house. And then she proceeds to fill the entire thing up to the very brim with perfectly good, clean water that so much of the world doesn't have access to right now, just so that she can put a tiny little palm-sized duck in the middle of it. Are we losing our goddamn minds? Yes, ducks need water, but did you need 100 liters of water to do this? You could have filled a much smaller bucket of water and achieved the same result. Because I can tell you extremely confidently right now that not a single person in history who has ever owned a pet duck has needed to buy something big enough for a grown-ass human adult and fill it up with a month's worth of water just to give a duck a bath. So don't give me that excuse. Because you're bathing a duck that needs to be washed, he would have dirt and bacteria and germs all over his body, just like us humans do. So now you'll have to drag this 100-kilo pool of water for your duck outside and dump it out because it can't be reused for drinking or for doing your laundry or for cooking or even using it to clean yourself. So it's like, this is just shocking content. Because if you were going to go through all of that trouble, you could have just used that effort in bringing him to a local lake and keep an eye on him as he swims around in nature for free with zero waste. How my brain sounds when I look at my Labubus in their matching little car seats every time we go for a drive. Guys, I cannot tell you how much I rolled my eyes when I saw this damn video. Look me in my eyes and try to tell me seriously with a straight face how this isn't a complete waste of materials and money. Please, I dare you. Because Labubus are yet another micro trend that nobody will care about by the time the new year rolls around. And that's being generous because people are already not buying them because they're not, quote, trendy anymore. And these videos have been uploaded all the way back in August. So they will either end up collecting dust in your basement until eventually they end up in a thrift store, or they'll be thrown out with their final resting place being the landfill. I mean, people are already, quote, officially retiring the Labubus by shoving them into a picture frame to hang up on their wall. And you want to try and convince me that someone buying this ugly thing, a car seat, is necessary to do? When people don't even want them anymore? Your toy does not need a plastic chair in your car for $50. Because just like the Labubu, that'll also end up in the garbage. Because it has literally zero reuse value for anything else in existence. What else are you going to use that for? It serves no other purpose than treating an inanimate object like it's your baby, which is just disturbing.
Hi everyone, I work at Goodwill and we're seeing 20 to 30 Labubus be donated every day to the point that we've had to start throwing them out. When we first started getting them in a few weeks ago, we were shocked and thought for sure that they were Lafufus, you know, fake, but we did some verification and it turns out that they were real. Obviously, we were super excited and staff gets first dibs on all the merchandise, so we took the first couple batches for ourselves, but once we kept getting them in, we started selling them, and originally we had them behind a case like this because, you know, they were super valuable. but then they kept coming in more and more. So we had to just start wrapping them like the normal stuffed animals and selling them at the normal stuffed animal prices. Now we get so many every day that we literally can't give them away. And so we've had to start trashing the non-desirable ones and using them as sponges to clean the floors because they actually retain water really well. I think it's a real shame that this is happening, but you know, trends come and go, and I'm sure we'll be getting Nintendo Switch 2s and air fryers in soon enough.
And that's what people are buying chairs for in their cars right now, people. Something they plan to dump at their local Goodwill as soon as they're bored of it so that it's no longer their problem. So not only are microtrends a huge problem in today's modern society, but overconsumption for these microtrends is also a huge problem for today's modern society. Why can't someone just buy one Labubu and be happy with just that itself and nothing else?
Here's everything I did to make my wife's Taylor Swift album release as special as possible. Starting off the morning of the release, I wanted to make her morning coffee on theme, so I dyed 2 pitchers of milk orange and green. The latte art didn't quite turn out how I wanted to, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Then I took her on a quick road trip and we listened to our favorites from Taylor's discography, jamming out on our way to go pick up some Life of a Showgirl themed cupcakes. They were chai sugar cookie flavored and they were so good. Then I got started on setting up a listening party just for me and her to listen to the album the second it came out. And when it did not disappoint. We danced, we laughed, we cried. It was amazing. The next morning, as soon as we woke up, I took her to the store and we got a vinyl and a CD.
Why does everything related to Taylor Swift have to be overconsumption? All of that for an album that got a 5.9 rating out of 10 on Pitchfork, by the way. Buying several different decorations, making an entire balloon setup, and buying mini disco balls and matching cushions that you won't keep on your couch is genuinely one of the most bizarre things that I've ever seen in my life. Because what the hell is gonna happen to all of the stuff right after you finish listening to the album? Do you guys wanna know what I do when an artist or a band that I love has announced that they're going to be releasing new music? I wake up in the morning, I remember it's release day, and I continue to live my normal everyday life while I wait in anticipation for the entire day until it's time to sit down in my room and listen to it in my headphones.
Bruh.
That's it, because that's all an album release needs to be. This is just outrageous. Just buy the album from Target like everyone else and calm down. And this trend of throwing unnecessary parties and buying unnecessary decorations for events that don't require this garbage just keeps getting worse, because this mother is decorating her house for her child's first day at school by blowing up balloons and leaving giant markers around the house and hanging up streamers on the door that'll immediately go in the bin the next morning, and even more balloons in the form of a huge pencil and a banner that says back to school, despite the fact that it's the kid's first day ever, so that's not really necessary to buy, is it? A giant roll of paper to draw on it and make it look like paper from a notebook that, again, will immediately go in the bin the moment they get back from dropping her off, with even more giant pencils and even more balloons shaped like an eraser or something. We can't pretend like this is normal behavior anymore, guys. That is not real life. Those are videos specifically made for content, because the average everyday mother cannot afford nor have the luxury to be able to stay up till early hours of the morning because they have an early shift to wake up and get to. So if you're a mother who just saw that video, please do not feel bad that you're not doing enough, because none of that is necessary to do, ever. You wanna know what my mum did for me and my siblings on our first days of kindergarten? She made us toast, helped us get dressed, did our hair, made sure our bag was packed with everything that we needed and that I had water to drink, and kissed us goodbye when dropping us off. Because that is literally all that needs to be done. Sure, you can take a picture of your kid as a keepsake for when they have their first day of high school to compare how much they've grown in that time. But as long as they're fed, they're clean, they're hydrated, and they're adequately prepared for the day, you are doing more than enough. Why do we need balloon statues and streamers and life-size school supplies like we're celebrating New Year's Eve?
Oh my God, what is that? Put it in the cart. Put it in the cart. I don't even remember what I came here for. Well, this section looks a little different than it did yesterday. And look at this. Look at this. My anxiety really just melted.
That stupid sticker on the side of that fake ass pumpkin boils my blood to an unfathomable degree. Look at me, I'm carvable. Yeah, you know what else is carvable? A real goddamn pumpkin that is grown from the earth and isn't made with imperishable materials so that it won't harm our planet when it inevitably starts to rot. Why on earth would anybody rather buy a fake pumpkin to carve when the entire fun of carving a pumpkin to begin with comes from doing it with an actual pumpkin? God, this is so horrible for our environment and it genuinely makes me furious. It's trash like that that's killing our holiday seasons because companies know that now they can get away with charging more for fake pumpkins and therefore make more profit than selling real pumpkins for less. I know that holiday seasons have always been rampant consumerism, but this is just getting horrific now. It really is. Or let's start talking about how lazy overconsumption is making us become. Because why are we putting automatic dispensers instead of lid caps on top of our bottles of milk and our juice? Is this not the most pointless and unnecessary invention ever sold to humankind? That bullshit is $40. I am being deadly serious. That is the exact product listed on that Amazon storefront. You know what else I could do? Instead of throwing my money directly in the garbage, I could use my own God-given hand, pick up the bottle with my other God-given hand, screw off the lid with my God-given hand that is attached to my body, and then slightly tilt my other God-given hand to pour my liquid of choice into my cup or into my bowl. All of that for free. There's no requirement of waiting for shipping and no unnecessarily complicated gadgets taking over yet another task that humans are more than capable of and have been for generations every single day. When your boyfriend carries the big water bottle so that you can refill your tiny little mini hydro flask whenever you need. So I'm annoying during our entire hike because I just had to be difficult instead of practical because the new Stanley is just too cute. I can't even rationally explain why this pissed me off so much. Like, it's irrational at this point. Maybe it's because if she was gonna take his water, they could have just shared his bottle instead of her buying a mini one. Maybe it's because she could have been the grown-ass adult woman that she is and packed a grown-ass adult woman water bottle with her during her hike so that she's getting enough water that she so clearly wants. Maybe it's because these companies are even selling these impractical items to begin with to promote consumerism and make even more money. Maybe it's all of it. I don't know. All I know is the fact that y'all are genuinely willing to pay $35 for something that carries 2 sips of water max is terrifying to me. How does this help any of us in any way, shape, or form? And I'm sorry if this sounds harsh, but if you're genuinely paying over $50 to buy a pair of underwear that looks like a pair of men's boxers, so it makes it look like your underwear is showing to the world without actually wearing a pair of boxers because you want the underwear to be your outfit's accessory, but you still want to be comfortable. Like, you are literally an idiot who needs to have their finances supervised if you buy something as stupid as this. See what I mean when I said that people just want any excuse in the book to spend their money on literally anything nowadays because of our addiction to consumption? When in history has something like that ever been available to buy? Underwear that looks like another pair of underwear but isn't really that pair of underwear. For fashion. Fashion. Like, people are literally spending their hard-earned money to make it look like their underwear is showing to the world. That's where we are in 2025. We are literally regressing as a species. And And I am scared for our future. If men's boxes being shown at the top of our jeans is what we're prioritizing and what we're aestheticizing, that's the new it trend. Hey guys, look, I'm wearing underwear.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Mwah. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!